What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Lions Den with Seth. What's going on, Big Herm? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Feeling good, bro.
Yeah, feeling good.
It's raining a lot here lately. You know what I'm saying? How's the weather like where you at?
Man, look, earlier this week, I think it was like last week, it was like in the 80s, you know what I'm talking about? And now all of a sudden it's flip-floppy. Now it's in like the 40s and like low 50s. I don't know what's going on, bro.
Yo, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though. This teaching the youth, man, we've talked to a few administrators and teachers before.
Mhm.
And it's like since we talked to them, man, you know, the climate has been getting a little bit more wild, man.
You think so?
You know what I'm saying? It's like teachers is going oops upside their head, dog. You know what I mean?
You know what, man? Look, hold on. Real talk, man. I want to first of all give a shout out to everybody that's watching right now. What's going on? Hit the share button. You know what I'm talking about? If this is your first time here on the Lions Den, what we do is we talk about all things leadership, growth, and development from in your crib to in the community. You know what I'm saying? But so, man, look, today, man, I had the great pleasure of hearing my man speak, man, Jeff Williams. He was talking about today, Pastor Williams, excuse me. He was talking about today, individuals doing what they see fit. You understand? Doing whatever they want to do. And so I think people already have that type of mindset, but they have an issue with their choices. No, the consequences of their choices. Now, what you think about that? I think people are starting to care less about that? What you
But
think?
then on the flip side, you know what I'm saying, have an issue with the consequences of their choices.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, because we want to do what makes us feel good, but we don't want the accountability portion.
that's it.
You know
That's
what I'm
it.
saying? We don't want to look at, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, I should do this, but don't judge me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's like, okay, you know, if you want to get out, just like this old saying still holds true today.
What's that?
Don't write checks that ass can't cash. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can
All
go
right,
out
I'll
there.
go there and give you. All right, I'll give
You
you
know what
that.
I'm saying?
I'll
I'm
give you
just
that.
saying.
I'll give you that.
You can go out there and do what you want and have a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But when it's time to pay that bill, pay it
Mhm.
up.
And
You
look,
know what I mean?
look, be ready for it, right? Be ready for
Yeah.
it. Because, hey, look, what they say, keep that same energy. And
Yeah.
so, but ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about it. Okay. We truly, truly, truly need to talk about it. But if this is your first time watching us on StreamYard, make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Okay. That's so that we can get all of your information. Well, not necessarily all your information, but at least we know who we're talking to, right?
Yeah.
We want to give you a shout out. And if you're watching, you know, and tune in, hit the button. Let us know where you at, where you watching in from. But y'all check it out. Y'all, we got two exciting individuals. All right, two. Now, one of them, and ladies first, we're going to give her a big shout out, Miss Crystal Smith, right, in St. Louis, originally from Chi-Town. So she's working at the, she works as an elementary school teacher, y'all, in St. Louis public school district, right? And she has been for the last 3 years. And she has the pleasure of working with the kindergarten and fifth graders. And Big Herm, you got who else we got? Mr. Richard.
Man, we got Mr. Richard Rory. He is a man that came up in the Montgomery County school system. He is from here as well. 19 years. He's taught
Clarksville.
Yeah, Clarksville, Tennessee. North side at that. You know what I'm saying? He's taught at the middle school level. He's also been a basketball coach at the middle school, high school level.
Yeah.
And he's currently on the administrative side as an assistant principal.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
And ladies and gentlemen, he's been in the field for 16 years in the first year as an administrator. So I want y'all to give everybody a nice round of applause up in there for Richard and Crystal. Yeah. Yo, hey, y'all, look, check them out, matching, right? Like they had to stand on out. They just about nothing. So how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling this evening?
I feel good.
I'm ready. You ready? All right. What about you, Richard? How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling really good this Sunday evening, y'all. Thank y'all for having us.
No doubt. So we want to get right into it. So ladies first, let's tell us a little bit about yourself, all right?
Well, I'm a mother, first and foremost. I have two sons, 18 and I have to think about it, 18 and 16.
Okay.
I have a lot of I consider myself an entrepreneur, but I do love teaching. So like you said, I've been doing it for 3 years now. I've worked full-time, second grade for 2 years. I did part fifth grade and pre-K. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a little rough.
That's all right.
I love kids and I love education.
Outstanding. Go ahead with you, Rich.
Okay, yeah, like you said, I'm 16 years in education. My first year as administrator. I did many of my years, about 14 years at the school that I had attended growing up. I really enjoyed doing that, giving back to my community. I mean, the school was like 2 blocks from where I was at. Sadly, I had to leave trying to find some admin experience. I wasn't getting the opportunity here in Clarksville. So now I'm in Hopkinsville, Kentucky right now. I do have 4 children, ages 9, 12, 18, and 20. And I'm happily married, and they'll be going on year 13 in June.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Tee it up, Big Herm. You ready for this smoke, man?
Yeah. Hold on. We get some feedback from someone?
Yeah, I think somebody's volume is up, probably loud. If y'all got your cell phones on or something like that, bring that down. I don't know. Crystal, you got that Obama phone still on?
All right, man. See you out of line, man.
Yeah, I know you got it. Lord have mercy. But look, man, we got to get it. Let's do it.
Hey, let's go with that first clip, man. And then we're going to go discussion from there, brother.
You ready? We're going to kick it off like that?
Yeah, let's kick it off like that, man. Let's let the people see what we about to get into.
Oh, man. Dang it, man.
I'm trying to make you work, man.
I see, but it's okay. That's what I'm here for. Let's do it.
Never mind the junk around my TV.
and you breathing.
I just had someone pick up the rest of my shift on short notice, but I'm here. I respect that, so I'll get right into it. So, I've been dealing with some issues with your son, Deshaun, since the beginning of the year, minor issues, and I've been managing them. But as the year has gone on, it's just gotten progressively worse. Worse? How? Well, it started off with like small things, like him calling out the answers without raising his hand. But, now it started to escalate to him throwing books and the right answers or the wrong answers. Well, right or wrong, it's just disruptive to the other students. I see. And look, I know we both want what's best for Deshaun. So what do you want from me? Well, I thought what exactly? This wasn't my first option, by the way. As I've said, his behavior has been getting progressively worse, and been trying to make sure he's having a successful time at school. And nobody's stopping you from doing that. He's kind of stopping me, actually. He's 7. You can't control a 7-year-old. Cassandra, it's not about control. We're setting him up to be the best student he can be, and, we're a team. We're not a team. And I don't see how he could be the best student that he could be with a teacher like you. Excuse me? And now my boss is calling. I took time out of my day away from my job to come down here to hear you complain about my son, and you're not even doing your job. I'm doing the best I can with your son. If this is the best that you can do, you are the worst teacher that I've ever seen. You're right. Call me Miss O'Neill. Down here wasting my damn time.
Damn. I was breathing like a mug. I didn't even notice that. Why you had to call that out, man? God,
you needed a damn breathing treatment or something. But anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, now what y'all think about that? No, as a matter of fact, y'all just go ahead and chime on in. We're going to give y'all that, the opportunity. But Miss Crystal, now what do you think about that? Have you ever been in that situation where you had to have a powwow, want to talk to a parent, right? Let her know, hey, look, your son or daughter, look, they got some issues. I want to bring this to your attention because I've done everything I can, but it's getting a little bit out of hand and I need your help. And then they tried to flip the script like you're not doing your job. Has that ever happened?
It has. First of all, that's really disheartening because you can see the pain in her eyes that she really cares and wants the best for that student. And we really are not anything without the parents helping us, because it's not just us. Even though they're with us for most of the day, we need the parents' help. It starts at home. I recently had a situation like that. I had a parent. It wasn't exactly like that. It wasn't face-to-face. It was through email. And she was a little upset. She emailed me and pretty much told me I wasn't doing my job. Her kid is being bullied and, and on and on and on. And the way I handled that situation was, I let her know, first and foremost, I would have loved to speak to you at the parent-teacher conference. She didn't come to the parent-teacher conference. I tried to reach out to her then, so that was first and foremost. And when I emailed her back, when I did finally speak to her, that was the first thing that came up, because I guess she felt some kind of way, well, I apologize. I didn't receive the email about the parent-teacher conference, but yes, she found it to call me and complain. The thing with her student is the one that's doing the bullying. So I've reached out to her before, and because the class that I have now, they're 7 and 8 year olds. So that's something I go through. And I wouldn't necessarily say bullying because they're still babies, but they bicker all day. They argue, they fuss at each other. They have little words that they like to say to each other that's inappropriate at times. And I just bring them back in. I reel them back in, and I try to, de-escalate the best that I can. And once again, I have babies, because 2 seconds later, they're best friends. They're playing together on the playground. So with that, it was more of just me staying calm. Like, I'm not doing my job. I love your child. I do the best that I can every day to make sure that he's getting the best care and receiving everything that I'm trying to give him so he can be successful. Mm-hmm. So it's a little disheartening, especially when you come to work every day doing your job and you care about the kids. You care about their education. You care about their well-being. And then you have parents that, oh, my child is perfect. My child does absolutely nothing wrong, when some of the time they're the problem.
and yeah, that make a lot of sense. Richard, what you think, brother?
Yeah, unfortunately, that has happened. In this case, I know it was an episode, but the child was, I believe, 7 years old. And so it's a good thing that the teacher is reaching out at such an early age, because you don't want this to develop and become out of hand. Like I said, I dealt with middle schoolers, and I'm pretty sure at that time when I was making phone calls, this was not the first time they've heard these teachers calling before. And so, you know, a lot of times you might have parents who might be frustrated. They're working maybe 1 or 2 jobs, single parents, and they're trying, but, you know, but they couldn't get through with their kids. And, you know, sometimes the kids, they act reasonably better, obviously, with their parents around. But when the cat's away, the mice will play. And
That's
so
right.
when they go to school, they act totally different sometimes.
So hey, what you think about that, Herm? Because I know back in the day, man, when I was out of line in elementary school, my mother would pop up in there and she wouldn't say nothing, but look, she had a belt around her neck like this. I'm like, oh my goodness, I want that smoke. What you think though, bro?
Man, for me, you know what I'm saying? My mom essentially gave the belt to my teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
In my school, when I was in elementary school, Pembroke Elementary in Kentucky, there was paddling then. And I remember we got to the school and they gave my mom, who didn't know that much English. She knew just, you know what I'm saying? She ain't, you know, she knew English, but she knew what, you know what I'm saying? Hey, in this school, we do paddling. If you sign this form and before she even finished the sentence, my mom signed that paper.
Right. She
didn't even think about it. She's like, yeah, whoop his ass if anything go wrong. You know what I mean? But I mean, that was kind of like the mindset back then. You know what I mean? Mindset was like, hey, if my kid is out of line, my kid is going to get handled. You know what I mean? But now I feel like the roles has kind of switched to, hey, something must be wrong with this teacher if my kid is out of line. I don't know if it's like what Richard said, man, that a lot of it is now, you know what I'm saying, single parent stress, all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just easier to point the finger at the teacher and be like, it's your problem, your fault. When my kid is at school, it's your kid to deal with. You know what I mean? So don't call me about this mess. You know what I mean? But it's something like it's a switch that didn't happen. It's like now the parent is automatically trying to figure out what's wrong with the teacher before they do the hard part and look at their kid.
Or no, hold on. Watch this. How about they're not doing the hard part by looking at themselves that's contributing to them kids acting out of line? Right. Ding, ding, ding from a damn self.
Michael Jackson said it best.
What's that?
Look at the man in the mirror.
You know, and so, but that's the deal, right? Because what I've been saying here recently, the blame, because looking at me ain't easy. So you don't want to hear a parent doesn't want to say, you know what, because I've been neglecting my child or whatever the case it is, this is the only place they can come and act up. Crystal, what you think about that?
No, I completely agree. I've had instances where a parent came up and not directed towards me, but to one of our special teachers, and she was livid. I mean, upset. And I'm just looking at this lady like, okay, that's why your child acts like that. He's a product of you. That's what he sees at home. That's how you interact with his father or other family members, or you at the grocery store and you're swearing and going off on people. That's why. So I don't know what you want me to do with him if he's acting just like you.
Hold on, what'd you say? Hold on, wait. Look, shout out to Maya. Look, she said what's wrong is these parents are these kids' best friends, which is a problem, right? And look, shout out to whoever this is. Y'all, sorry, I don't know who this is, but it says when I was in education, we were instructed to actually build relationships, right? The first call should be the issue call. Also, so many studies shown teacher bias towards Black and brown students. Behavior.
Okay. All right. So you know what?
Go there.
All right.
See, we weren't supposed to go here, y'all.
Here's the thing, man.
It is what it is. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. It is what it is, right? Hey. It used to be back in the day, you know what I'm saying? The Black and brown kids, you know what I'm saying? They knew their parents would come up there and tag that ass at school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no behavior issues. That done stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a community center manager here in my city. I've been cussed out by plenty of kids, and there's no bias to what it is. You know what I mean? I haven't been cussed out by any other kids except Black kids. You know what I'm saying? Black boys called me all kind of names in the book, and I always leave with respect. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta hold them to a standard of accountability. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know about the studies that talk about that stuff. I'm going about my own life experience of what I see on the ground. You know what I'm saying? There is an issue and there is a problem. And we got to always start trying to point our fingers outward and start looking inside. Be like, yo, what can we fix first?
That's right. And how have I contributed to it? So what you think about that, Rich?
I hear you on that. Just like that last comment was made, like I said, I'm at an alternative school. So my biggest thing is, there's some of these kids that are in gangs. They've seen some things I have never seen before. So trying to force somebody to do something that's not going to work. A lot of these kids, they tower me. I mean, they 6'6", 200, 300 pounds. So what I try to do is build relationships. I say good morning every day. How are you doing? I call them by their first or last name. So I'm building these relationships. So this wall can break down. So if something they want to be able to talk to me about, they might not be able to talk to their teacher, but they can talk to me. And we talk, in my office or wherever outside in the hallway. And we have this. They know that Mr. Roy is somebody they can talk to. They see him. Okay, he's somebody like me. He looks like me. He cares. He's not somebody who's just trying to write me up, send me home or something like that. Like I said, my thing is I'm all about building relationships. Unfortunately, like we've been talking about, it's becoming more of the teacher, focusing on the teacher versus focusing on the student. What we can do from that aspect.
Absolutely. So look, I want to get into some of these comments, right? And that's what it is, really. The main focus should be the kids. So here's one right here. All right. Single parent stress. I think we need to be careful of blaming single parents without considering all the factors. Absolutely. However, that is a factor. All right. Let's keep it real. All right, let's keep it real, especially if you know how it is. And if you may or may have not been a product of it. That's just my point of view. Next thing, Maya says, well, I have gotten threatened by black and white kids. I have gotten hit 6 times at the school I'm at. And I know, Maya, you probably hit them first. I know you. But no, but seriously. All right, so then let me see. We got Monica. Shout out to you, Monica. She says, there are blatant disparities, specifically with disciplinary issues. Crystal, what you think about that?
Goodness gracious. That's true. I mean, the school that I'm at right now, they're predominantly all black children. So I think I don't really see that at the school that I'm at. I mean, I agree with it, but that's not something that I have to deal with.
I've seen it.
I think it's pretty even.
I've seen what Monica is talking about. You know what I mean? I remember one time we had a black kid and a white kid fighting. You know what I mean? And I don't want to get the show. We're gonna get back on track.
We will.
What I'm saying? I seen a black kid and a white kid fighting. The white kid hit the black kid first, which I saw, and then the teacher came in and automatically wanted him up the black kid. I was like, "No, hold on for a second." He defended himself. You know what I'm saying? At this point, he defended himself from this kid. So it wasn't that he was the aggressor. The dude came up and hit him first. You know what I'm saying? So
and I mean, to that point, sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunately cognitive bias. You know what I'm saying? Just in their head, nope, he's wrong. He's just supposed to be wrong. You get what I'm saying? Even though he didn't do anything, or I don't know the full story, but it's just easier to go that route. Here we go. We got another question. What's going on? It's Lily Wilson. She says, do the kids need more discipline for behavior or other services? What is at the root of it?
What you think, Richard?
A lot of times, I mean, we're becoming more observant of, kids' social emotional learning. So, when we were growing up, suck it up, man. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You better toughen up.
Walk it off.
Yeah, walk it off. I'm not saying, we can't do that now. You cannot do that now. You can't tell a kid, because you don't. There's a lot of emotional stuff that they've been going through. Not to say that we weren't going through those kind of stuff when we were growing up, but we're just more aware that, we have to be cognizant, and we can't talk to our youth, whether they're males, whether they're females, black, white, yellow, it doesn't matter. But we just more cognizant. We have evolved, I guess, in the education where we got to be more aware, and we have to talk about the emotional aspect a little bit more than what we've been doing.
Yeah. Now, so in that same line, Crystal, what do you think about that? What type of skills and tools do you think that you use or need in order to deal with some of the kids that you deal with? The reason why I say that, I know in my daughter's school, there was a time I went there for something, and I heard over the PA system, y'all check this out. Over the PA system, it was like, okay, everyone, we're going to take a mindful minute. Get your mind together. Think about everything you're going to do in the day. And they have music and everything playing in the back. I'm like, what? Like, they get time to chill out, but it's needed, right? Because it kind of calm all that mess down, especially on Mondays, right? They still kind of turned up from the weekend or whatever. But Crystal, what type of tools do you think that you have, or that your school may or may not be affording the teachers?
Oh, well, in my classroom, I have, it's actually called a chill zone. It's a little desk. Well, it's two of them on either side of the room. I have a big bean bag with a little cute little rug. And if the kid needs to chill out, they just raise their hand and I let them go over there for 5 minutes. I don't have to do any work, but just kind of relax. You know, if they need to talk, I'll pull them to the side. If they need to go, we have a little area in our school. We have our counselor and another teacher in there. They need to go there and, you know, and talk to someone and stay down there for 10 minutes. We give them that opportunity because sometimes the kids coming to school, this is the best part of their day. You know, like Richard said, being more cognizant of what's going on. We don't know, you know, they have breakfast, lunch, they're there with their friends. Sometimes being at school is the best part of these kids' day. You don't know what's going on outside of school. You know, if they have any kind of emotional or physical abuse. And some of our babies I know we have in foster care, and some foster cares are a blessing, but then some you can tell the kids are not, you know, all the way properly taken care of. They may not feel love. And a lot of these babies, that's all they need is love. They want to know that they're seen and understood. And, you know, and then some of them act out because they don't understand certain things, you know, so it's just having compassion and giving these babies grace.
That's
along with their parents.
Yes. Oh man. And so we go into that, right, Big Herm?
Yeah, so right. That perfect statement. And I'm gonna go into a little bit what Richard talked about is that you being in elementary school, you know what I'm saying, talking to them at that level, and then Richard seeing them at middle school, you know what I'm saying, knowing that these kids ain't been, this is the first time the parents have been told this, which kind of leads into, you know what I'm saying, what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It leads into the problems that we're seeing now, where it's been elevated, maybe hasn't been addressed properly. You know what I'm saying? Now it's been elevated to where it gets kind of dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about it after we watch this first clip right here.
All right, let's get it. Hey, what did they say? Roll that beautiful bean footage. All right, hold on. Let's get it. And here we go.
It started as an argument over a confiscated cell phone, and it quickly escalated. The scuffle ended with substitute teacher Xavier Steele and the unnamed student on the ground. Steele's hands appear to be pressing down near the student's head, and the student screams. It's not clear why Steele took the student's phone.
The cell phones is got no place in class, and then you're gonna go up there and jump on a teacher or fight a teacher. That is wrong.
WRAL obtained the district's cell phone policy, which says she was within her authority to take it if the phone was visible or the student was using it. The
All right. Go ahead, ladies first. Go ahead.
I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but goodness gracious. My sister actually sent me this clip and I wanted to jump through the phone on the teacher. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that student was right, because first of all, she should have never been in her face. She should have never sweared at her or tried to grab at her. But that lady could have de-escalated that situation. She was twice that baby's size. She could have just grabbed her and held on to her. She didn't have to wait till she was on the ground with a hand on her head. She could have grabbed that little girl. You know, to me, it felt like that she was fighting a friend or someone that took her man, and there was all this buildup animosity inside her. Like she had been waiting all semester to grab that little girl. I just feel like that situation could have been handled completely different. Escalated before it got to that point. Because that little girl had no fighting chance against that woman.
Rich, what you think, bro?
I definitely agree with Crystal. Now, mind you, she is a substitute teacher. she could have handled that much differently. I counted like twice that the teacher like pushed the other student's arm or body parts. I mean, if she already had the phone at that time, I don't know how she got the phone, but there's different ways that she could have done it. She could have got an admin, and now then there would have been no scuffle. But because there was a power struggle. She was trying to show, hey, I'm the adult, I'm the teacher. You got to do it because I said so. That kids, when you get in that kind of struggle, they're around their friends. They're gonna act. They're gonna show you like, okay, well, I have an audience. You're not gonna make me, look bad in front of my friends or my peers. Now, had the students not been in there, maybe the student would act a little bit differently. But definitely, if I was the substitute teacher at that moment, I probably would have called the phone and got an administrator in there.
So here, let me jump in real quick, Herm, man, because the deal is she did say go get a teacher, right? She did say that a couple of times. However, there was multiple things going on there. I believe she was bigger, but the teacher knew she had an audience too.
Yes, she did.
Look, the teacher knew. She knew these kids was recording. She knew them kids. Didn't nobody say, you know what? Let me go and get some help. You ain't hear that. Let me go and, Miss Johnson, such and such is acting out of line. So it was a lot going on in there. So, somebody have to be, I hate to say it, the adult. But what you say, Herm?
But I mean, let's take it back a little bit though. When you just said, the student's not going to back down because there's other people around, right? Yeah. I was a student at one time that got embarrassed by my teacher, and I never would have thought to jump behind my teacher's desk and confront them about anything. And I was bigger than all my teachers, you know what I'm saying? But I never thought, I'm running back behind the desk and I'm going to, do all of that. So before we get into what the teacher did, it's like, where is these students getting it from to where they feel like they need to run behind the desk and go confront the teacher and tell the teacher what they're going to do
from the crib?
You know what I'm saying? I think that's the problem that we're looking at, is like, that needs to be addressed, because a teacher shouldn't even have to make that decision from the jump. You know what I mean? If they're supposed to be the authority figure inside the room and have control, they should be hey, I got the phone, go to the office, but that kid wasn't hearing none of that.
So of course, but now here's something else for y'all, right? Do y'all feel as though it's even? What I mean by that is the amount of kids that you have in the class. Let's say you got 15 kids, right? You got 15 kids. 3 of them, let's do the 80-20. 20% of them really want to be there. Come on now. And then so the other 80 is just out of line. And the other ones, let's be real, some of them are on that, what's that acronym? EDP, IDI, what is it? So they got something going on, right? So if you don't have the skills or the resources to combat that and separate that, you're spending the majority of your academic time breaking up fights. That's what I'm thinking. Yo, Rich, what you think, man?
I totally agree with you on that. And I'm looking at, the comments, and, they're saying that she did try to, yeah, I get it. She did, she was on, it looked like she was on the phone trying to call for help. But again, she's a substitute teacher. I've been in education for 16 years. This is not my first year or my 5th year. Teachers, unlike other, other jobs or other careers, we retire at 30 years, not 20. So if I'm going to make it to year 30, I'm going to have to show some type of restraint,
Right.
And so, I'm in it for the long haul. And so I'm trying to make it there. And then you got to choose your battles. We talk about this all the time. You got to choose your battles. Is that phone really that important? Yeah, no. It broke the rule. It broke the rule. I get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was, even if it was some paraphernalia or something, there's certain ways that, you can go about it. I'm going to choose my battles. And that battle is not one that I want to argue in court.
See? What you think, Chris?
I completely agree. I completely agree with that, because she could have just given her phone back. Yes, she is a student. Yes, she is a kid. She could have stayed in a kid's place. But why make it to Facebook? Give her phone. Once she leaves the classroom, call whatever administrator you need to call, put in a referral, write her up, call her mom. But it didn't have to go where it went. If she didn't have to, it would have never made it there. She would have just gave her the phone back. She didn't win. She's a kid. You're an adult in the situation.
See?
You could have walked away.
I'm not disagreeing with none of that. Mm-hmm. What they're saying was 100% absolute truth, right? I'm not disagreeing with. Plus, you know, they the one with experience. All I'm asking is, how do we get to the point to where the kids feel like they need to run and confront the teacher to begin with?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We getting in that position. It's like what Monica said, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's performing for the camera now. Can't nobody be no punk. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're in a culture now, you know what I'm saying? We're in a culture now where the less respect for authority, you know what I'm saying, is appreciated. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to respect the police no more. We don't want to respect the cops no more. We don't want to respect pastors no more. We don't want to respect nobody that's seen as an authority figure anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, but still though, man, you know, you're absolutely right. We don't, but so the kids are just a small representation of us anyway. You dig what I'm saying? And also the things that we allow. So let me go through these comments again before we go through some other videos. So let me see. Okay, Lily Wilson, she said this for you, Herm. Hey, teachers back in the day looked and act like professionals. I'm not sure what some teachers are doing now. Looks like she was heading to the club.
Hold on. Let's not body shame. Come on, Lily.
Wait, no, you said it.
Let's not body shame the teacher now. You know what I mean?
No, man, come on, bro. Look, we saw the unedited version. You understand? She was dropping it like it was hot. Damn shame. So anyway, Chubb says, we as parents should express the weight of actions, especially in schools. Absolutely. And the person says, correct. Some kids have varied behavior issues and needs that may not be addressed properly. A substitute teacher might not have the training for this. Now, what you think about that, though, Richard? Like, so here you go. You're an administrator, right? You get somebody like we were saying back then. You don't need much, right, to be a teacher. But what is it that schools can do, should do, or don't do that's preventing the best results for their kids when it comes down to substitute teachers?
Okay, great question. The school district that I was at in my school, if we knew that Billy doesn't do very well with change, and we knew that Miss Smith was going to be out, well, Billy might need to be in the library. Billy might need to be in another classroom or another teacher, another environment, so he can, you know, do his work and be comfortable, because, you know, we know that Billy's it may not do very well with the substitute teacher. So, you know, we try to prepare, be proactive, you know, we try to be proactive. Now, can you do that with every student? No, you can't do that with every student, but you know some of your students, you know, and then sometimes the teacher, the sub plans, you might have something. All right, Timothy, he has an IEP. You know, it gives you some feedback. Sarah's a good student too. If you have any questions, Sarah knows where to get the pencils, where, you know, it just gives the sub a heads up of what to expect. Again, you know, can't prepare for every situation, but you try to give as best a heads up as you can.
Got you. So here, before we move on, so Crystal, this is for you because I know you know about a little bit about the substitute world. How do you feel the connection is between being a substitute teacher and a traditional teacher, as far as that relationship with the students? Because shout out to whoever this is, I'm not sure who it is, but I was once a substitute teacher. Kids loved me and didn't want me to leave. But Maya said most of the substitute teachers are retired teachers. So what say you?
And you know, and I agree. A lot of the substitute teachers are retired teachers, but most of them should have stayed retired because they're at the point now that they're frustrated. They don't want to be there. These kids not slow. They know when they're not wanted, don't want to be bothered, or the teacher is annoyed. They can feel that energy. They can feel it, you know. So I think really the biggest difference, depending on your complete background, because I substitute as well. I had a passion for it. I have a child with an IEP. I homeschool my child. So I love kids. I understand, you know, the different backgrounds, if someone is on the spectrum or not. I honestly think the biggest part of it is the training, but most of the training that you go through is just really based on the academic, because they're not really teaching you how to be an emotional support person for that child, you know. So I think it's really the person. It's not so much as the person being a substitute teacher. It's just, do you really want to be there? Is that your passion? Do you love education? Do you love these kids? Or are you just doing it for a quick checkup because it's easy? I think it's really based on the person.
Damn. What you think, Big Herm? Look, that makes sense, don't it?
Yeah, it do make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because teaching is not one of those jobs, I feel, even though I never uh been a teacher, but I don't feel like teacher is one of those jobs where people need to go into it where they're thinking about the money first.
No.
You know what I mean? Because you're dealing with other people's lives. I like somebody
Yeah.
wrote in there, you know what I'm saying,
Oh, no,
that
it tried to go home. Hold on, let me see.
somebody typed in there that some parents are
Here.
sending
Go
their
ahead,
kids to
here it is.
that right there.
Go ahead.
Man, well, it's like we syncing with each other, man. 3 years in the game, now we finally start to sync. But anyway, it says some parents send their child to school to be raised. It's sad that, you know what I'm saying, some scapegoat. You got me reading this shit, man.
Man,
You
go
got-
ahead. Take your time.
It's sad that
Sound it out.
some scapegoat from being real parents. I applaud teachers that deal with these troubled children, but in an appropriate way.
Yeah, shout
That
out
right
to you.
there, man.
Yeah.
That right there lets you know what I'm saying, the importance of what a teacher is to a student's life, because on a real, especially during the school year, they deal with the kids more than the parents do. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to be in it for the right reason. You know what I mean? It's not like, no offense to bus drivers, like bus driving or something like that, where all you're doing is turning corners.
Yeah.
This is somebody that's making a direct impact, a direct influence on somebody's life, some young person's life, that's going to change the trajectory of their life.
That's right.
That's a big responsibility. You know what I mean? So if they're not in it for the right reason, they start getting desensitized and stuff like that. That needs to be evaluated.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Crystal. What you gonna say?
No, I'm just agreeing with her. I completely agree with that. Because what do we always say? The children are our future. So it's just you have to make sure that you're there for the right reasons. I have not throwing anybody on the bus, a teacher in my school, and she's of age, and I mean the students can't pick up their pencil wrong, and she's yelling and screaming at them. It's like, lady, why are you here? You're not helping these babies. You know, you're frustrating, giving them a nervous condition. You're not helping them. It's a passion, just like being a doctor. Now anybody can be a doctor and go out and do surgery. You have to have a passion for it, because you're dealing with 20 plus kids plus their parents. The parents are traumatized. They probably have stuff that they're still dealing with. That's why the kid is the way they are. So you just have to, you got to have compassion. You have to have a love for this. It's just not something you just decide, oh, I'm just going to do because it's easy. I got a degree. I can go and be a substitute teacher and make a quick buck. No, because it's not benefiting the kids, which is the reason you should be there.
Hey, Richard.
Yes, sir.
Being so long in the game, right? I know you had to have ebbs and flows and moments to where you were like, you know what, I'm done with this mess.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, damn all this, I'm about to go off. You know what I mean?
The next kid
Yeah, 16 years in the game for anybody in any career field, they had to see the very tops and the very lows. Can you talk to us about some of those lows and what kind of kept you going?
There it is.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Thank you for bringing that up. Some of the lows, and you hear a lot of times, or I can say a lot. You hear sometimes parents or people will say, "Well, you get the summers off." I'm like, man, but you're dealing with these kids. These kids are in school, and like I love everything what y'all say. You gotta have a passion for it. But these kids are in school for 8 hours a day, even longer if they play sports or they're in clubs. And and they sleep maybe, hopefully, at least 6 hours. So they really they're on, with the teachers. They have a lot of dealings with the teachers. Now I did some research. Okay. The US entry level for teacher salary with a bachelor's is only $42,000. You can do something else. The US entry level for a college grad in the US is $55,000. You could do something else and make almost over $10,000, even more. So, like I said, you're not going to teaching for the money. There's nobody going in it for the money. There's a calling, and that's why teachers do burn out. They'll say, "Okay, I'll do it," and they'll do it for a couple of years, and this ain't for me. We talked earlier. I told you in my last school we had bus drivers that became teachers, and because they had a degree, so they found a way to get them back into school. Yes, like I said, they're back in school and they're trying to get their teaching license. But this is somebody who did not have any formal education on classroom management, and they were inside the classroom because they were maybe good in math or good in English, and they're teaching your child. But they are currently in school getting those skills. Don't get me wrong, but those are, teaching is a passion. You can't go in there, oh, I get the summers off, or it's only weekdays. I don't have to work weekends. You really got to want to do this. And like I said, I mentioned it earlier, to retire, you have to be in the game for 30 years. Like I said, I'm in at 16 now. If I was in any other field, I could retire in 4 more years.
It's
But
true.
I'm in it for I love going. I don't think of it as a job. I don't even think of it as a job. I go in there. I worry about my kids when I'm not in school. Like, I know in my school, so if they don't eat breakfast or lunch at my school, what are they going to eat? I have to worry about it, like snow days or something like that. I'm like, oh my God, man, hopefully, they're going to get something to eat. They're somewhere safe, they're somewhere warm, because I know that at least when they're in my building, they're safe and they're getting 2 meals.
See, and I like that. And so look, we're going to go back to that, right? Because you deal with kids every day, and like you said, majority of them spend more time with you than they do at home. And so there's an issue out there that I'm sure some teachers are dealing with as far as compassion fatigue. How do you get, because you care, right? And having that high level of empathy, you start to internalize that stuff. But we're going to go into that in a minute. But now we're going to go into another video, ladies and gentlemen. Well, first of all, I want to make sure y'all enjoying this. Make sure y'all are subscribing and y'all tuning in and y'all are part of this conversation, because this is real. I don't know who's doing this live right now, but you where you need to be right on, because this is a conversation that we need to continue as we go into the new year, and to make sure we have a better working relationship with not just the kids as parents, but also the teachers as well. So now this next video, when it gets too far or goes too far, you understand? Like, where's that line at, and how do you prevent that blurring? Hey, but look, Herm, before I hit the play button, man, what do you think about this next video, man, before we hit?
I think this video, you know what I'm saying, for me, it's more clear cut than the first one. You know what I mean? I think this one is a sad representation of when somebody lost total control.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look, we're about to check this on out, and y'all let us know what you think. Oh, go ahead. What you say?
This ain't the one, but this will do.
Oh, this will do. Okay, here we go.
Slur.
Bro, say it too, bro. We're right here, bro. Everybody's watching. What's up, bro?
Hurling a basketball at the teacher. According to students, the confrontation sparked by an alleged dress code violation.
You ain't telling me.
After asking the student to leave the class, the teacher, Marston Riley, eventually snaps,
I'm telling you, right?
pulling the student to the floor, pummeling it with repeated blows to the head. Riley arrested, the student sent to the hospital. The community of Maywood, California now split on who's to blame.
I think it was both of their faults, like the teacher and the student. I was scared for the kid and probably for the teacher too.
While some parents also voicing their concerns.
I know kids say stuff that they shouldn't, but he should be accountable.
Tom, tonight the teachers.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be completely honest, man. That's my first time truly watching it. What was he hitting that boy with, the damn walkie-talkie?
I don't know.
He was doing this joint here. He had something in his hand. Am I tripping? Did y'all see that?
No. He was hitting him with something in his hand.
Bruh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So Monica says, see, hey, what play stupid games and win stupid prizes? Okay, look, I mean, Crystal, go ahead. We're going to give it to you. We're going to tee it up with you. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that? Because it clearly looked like something went off in his head and he just turned up. What you think?
He was past his expiration date. That man needed to leave. At some point, you have to know when to walk away. And I know in the school that I currently teach in, they get penalized. It's a few $1,000s that they have to pay. But you have to know, do you want to pay whatever it is to walk away and find you a new profession, or do you want to be locked up? Because he was dealing with some other stuff that it was building up inside of him, whether it was the kids or his own personal life, but it should have never got to that point. He was beating that boy like he was a grown man. And I'm not taking up for these kids because these kids are wrong. You shouldn't have hit it with a ball. You shouldn't have been in his face. You shouldn't have been yelling. That was disrespectful. But that old man could have handled it differently. Don't beat that boy like he a grown man. No.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rich. What you think?
I totally agree. Yeah, he's got to yeah, he's got to, you know, the kid is in his face and then they're going back and forth. Just go get admin, go get, you know, administrator, get somebody to get them out of there, you know, send them out. And I see some of the comments saying homeschool. Homeschool is not the answer either. I mean, who's going to be home with these kids? Who's going to make sure that they're doing the work? I mean, a lot of times we don't have people who work remotely. So, you know, that's not the answer. The answer is we got to get trained better. We got to hold the kids accountable. You know, we can't train the kids, but you can show them how. Like I told you earlier, you know, when I introduce myself to my students, you know, I talk to them. I let them know there's a correct way to address me. You know, by sir, Mr. Rory. It ain't hey yo, hey you. You know, it ain't no yeah, no all right, no. It's yes or no. And then when I address my students, I show them how to talk with the correct manner, and you know they talk back to me in that regard. So,
Herm, what you think, bro?
I think the man lost total control, right? You know what I'm saying? He stood there faced up like, you know what I'm saying, I would do with anybody, like hit me first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the energy that he was giving like you was a teenager, like, no, hit me first. You know what I'm saying? And he stood there, told the kid to back up. The kid wasn't going to back up, and so he decided to take the first swing, and he missed the first swing at that. You know what I mean? But he decided he's going to take the first swing and take it to the kid and start punching him in the head. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to restrain him after that, you know what I'm saying, gaining composure, he kept punching him like, you know what I'm saying, I'm about to win this fight against this 14-year-old. You know what I mean? But I think that it's sad when we see videos like that, when we see people do that, because it goes into, you know, what we already struggling with, and that's more black men in teaching roles. You know what I'm saying? More black men getting admin roles, leadership roles into the school. You know what I'm saying? When things like this happen, in other video that's been circling around, you know what I'm saying? Now we about to lose that one. You know what I mean? We already at a shortage, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the lack of diversity, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to teachers. You know what I'm saying? Where does that stem from, and how does that, you know, what in y'all's opinion, why is it that way?
What you think, Rich?
I can't answer the why answer. I just know that there is a big disparity as, you know, teachers of color, principals of color. I do know that, you know, we do need more of us. When we talk to my counterparts and I ask them, you know, how many, you know, African American teachers you think we have in our district, and they think, you know, this number, you know, they don't live here, and I tell them, and they're shocked. You know, unfortunately, we don't have that representation. You know, whether it's in the classrooms, like I said, in the classrooms, there's not a lot of, you know, men of color. You know, for various reasons. You know, whether it's the low pay or the low status. There's a lot of discrepancies on that. You know, why? Like I said, you could work in a factory. You could work in a factory.
Yeah.
You know, $20 an hour. And I wrote this down. You make about $40,000. Work overtime, you might be pushing $45,000 an hour, and don't have to deal with kids. You know, you don't have to deal with that disrespect. Just do your job. You know, so you know, we've got to get better with that as far as that representation in the classroom and as admin.
Yeah. Well, look, check us out. I'm about to ask y'all this question. I'm starting with you, Crystal, and Rich. You let me know what you think. So you got all this mess going on in school, right? These kids, they out of line, you know it, right? But now, what do you think about arming the teachers?
Ooh.
Hold on. Like, what do you think about? I said it. Yeah. What y'all think about letting the teachers bring their 2-5 right up in the school? Because look, these kids you know what I mean? It's either that or what? Do y'all believe they're going back to the old school corporal punishment type of thing, the paddling?
Wait a minute, you talking about arming the teachers against the students?
Yeah.
Hell no, man.
No, not against the students. Not wait, hold on, and keep this in mind. This all stemmed with the type of, with the threats of the school shootings. You get what I'm saying? Protecting schools, but at the same time, there is a mental aspect to all of this. Clearly, what we've been watching, there's a lack thereof, right? So, do you think, based off of the climate that we're at, and keep this in mind, look what we're being shown. That's another thing. Look what the media is showing out there, the aggressors. You get what I'm saying? Look at the confrontations. How do you think that will play if teachers are armed to protect kids? Krista, what you think? Oh, look.
Absolutely
our
not.
teachers just passed in Tennessee. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, go ahead. But go ahead, Krista. See?
That's scary. I mean,
See?
just off of the clips that you've already shown, you want to arm those angry individuals with guns?
No, but look, they teachers though. You know what I'm saying? But they teachers.
But they're still human. I mean, they can't be accountable for their own emotions. If you can go off on a kid like that and swing and punch him like he a grown man, you want to give him a gun? What you think he's gonna grab first? Because mentally he's unstable, or he's angry with the world or whatever. It's no way. It's absolutely no way. No.
Richard, what you think about that?
Oh,
man?
yeah, go ahead. Because look, it's happening right now in Tennessee. So what you think, bro?
Correct. Now we jumping from teachers fighting students to teachers being armed to protect the school. So
but now keep this in mind though. The teachers are the first line of defense, right?
Correct.
From aggressors outside and inside.
Okay.
They're not gonna use it against the students though. That's not what it's for.
It's not what it's for. Come on, we know that. But our FIS teachers, that's not what this is for either, hitting these kids. So, but go ahead.
Whether the intruder is coming from outside to inside, I still don't like the idea of having more. You talking about having more guns? So where is this gun going to be at? What if a student stumbles across this gun? Now the student has the gun. We just in Virginia, elementary student shot his teacher. You know what I'm saying? So now we gonna bring guns into the school, and then what if I get, I can say because I wouldn't. What if a teacher's getting beat up? He's like, man, I'm getting beat up. Let me go to my drawer. Now he has a gun.
See,
I don't.
Man, no. If you're not an SRO, you don't need a gun in the school.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not a student, if you're not a school resource officer, you don't need a gun in the school. The teachers should not be levied with the responsibility to stop a shooter. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be their job.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's active shooter. It should be the job of the people that we trust to do that, and that's the police officer.
Yeah, you should. But what? It's the crazy part is that we trust the teachers to teach. Krista, what was you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. I was just agreeing. I'm not trained to take a gunman down. I'm trained to educate. And because I'm not trained, who says when something like that happens that I'm in my right mind, to actually, of course, I'm going to protect my kids. I'm going to lock the door, I'm going to put the chair up there, turn the lights off. But to actually have a gun armed and pointed and ready to go.
So look, check it out. I'm going to give you this with Sierra. Shout out to her watching, first time viewer probably. But listen, the teachers shouldn't be armed. All right. What if the teacher snaps and become the shooter? Or if the child snaps and takes the teacher's gun, why make it accessible? Just get security. And then that's another thing with the finances. You know what I'm saying? Do that school have that access? But ladies and gentlemen, this has been it. Herb, what you think, bro?
Man, it's very, 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 very. It's a show that we need at this time frame, man. Yes. A lot of times people look and just start judging the teacher. You know what I mean? We see a message, we see a grade, and when we open inside, look at our students, our child's grades, and then we start judging the teacher. You know what I'm saying? I think more conversations need to be had with teachers so they be understanding on both sides, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all teachers are perfect, and all parents are perfect. I'm saying that there needs to be an understanding between the teacher and the parent. And having conversations with them may lead to that. So, thank you guys for coming on today. You know what I'm saying? Sharing a little bit of your world to our audience, and hopefully this inspires people to look at teachers in a different way and have that conversation with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Richard, man, give your final word, brother. What you want to parents and students that may be watching? What you want them to know, man?
That that just keep on pushing, keep on, trying to be a better version of you. Nobody's perfect. Just know that Mr. Rory does care about you.
Right on, man. Thank you for being on. Miss Crystal, what you think?
Can I say two quick things? One thing, it was something Harm just said, that a lot of my students that are not academically where they need to be, the parents are more concerned about them being fresh. And I mean, they bring other shoes to change out of their J's to go out and play. And it's like they can't even tie their shoes, but you worry about what they have on. But I have a quote. That's frustrating. A quote from Rita Pearson. She's an educator. It was a TED talk that she did. It says, every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connections and insists they become the best they can possibly be. All I want to say is just make sure it's a passion. Make sure it's a passion, because these babies, they really do need us.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, woo, I don't got nothing else to say. This is what it is. This is what we do. This is what we do here at the Lions Den. Trust me, it does take a village, you know what I'm saying? But the deal is, ladies and gentlemen, do your part. Do your part for real. You know what I'm talking about? If you're a parent, be a parent. If you're a teacher, be a teacher, but you need help. You can't do it all by yourself. Parents support these teachers, but teachers get engaged with these parents, because you never know what they are dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe just by understanding and having a little level of empathy could help go a long way. And next time we do have this conversation, we really need to talk about how y'all teachers deal with your self-care. Okay, how do y'all deal with that? But y'all, this has been the Lions Den. We're gonna holler at y'all on the flip flop, right? This has been good. Right on. Later.